just say yes, but
I would have guessed it was Maddie, but
I do better on a golf course. Really had to ask the question.
All right, everybody, welcome. Thank you for coming to this exciting day for Carroll College Athletics and Carroll men's basketball in specific. The way this is going to go today, Charlie Gross is going to say a few words about the process and the hire. Our new coach, Ryan Lundgren, he's going to step up, have some words to say. We'll take questions from the media, and then after the media questions, we'll open it up for a little meet and greet with Coach Lundgren. With that being said, let's get started. Please welcome Charlie Gross.
Good job, Conrad. Good job, Conrad.
Thanks, Conlon. It's been a tradition to have our men's basketball players on campus during the month of June so that they not only can work our basketball camps, which they're doing this morning, but they can already set the tone of creating culture for next year. When the search began early June, I wanted to get candidates on campus as quickly as possible so that our team could engage in the process and they could have some say in who their next coach was, with the ultimate goal of having somebody in place before the men's basketball team leaves for the summer, which is Thursday. Goal achieved. To make that happen, though, needed the assistance of a lot of people. So before we get into the introduction of Ryan today, I want to give some special recognition and thank some people who really helped engage in the process and move it along. First, our screening committee members, Rochelle Sayers, Conlon Burke, Troy Purcell, Guy Almquist, Hunter Lindsay, Guy Pedra, and Andrew Cook.
Cook.
Andrew Cook. Over a 2-week period of time, these individuals committed countless hours reading resumes, evaluating candidates, spending the greater part of a Sunday on Zoom interviews, and meeting with finalists on campus. A special thank you also goes out to our men's basketball players. They met with me several times to discuss things like what's the ideal profile of our candidate, create questions for the interview process, and when each candidate came, they spent over 2 hours in interviews and on-the-court time with the candidates. A thank you also goes out to Gary Turcotte, who participated in the process as what I would say is a special consultant. Thank you, Gary. A final thank you to Seth Yates, our current assistant men's basketball coach this past year. Seth did an outstanding job stepping up into taking a leadership role on a daily basis, working the team out and managing our basketball camps the past few weeks. The candidate pool was strong, which speaks volumes for the tradition of Carroll basketball over the years. Credit goes to the many generations of basketball players and those individuals who led them, like Bill Roscoe, John Franchino, Jim Trudnowski, John Driscoll, Tom Kelly, Gary Turcotte, Carson Cunningham, and Kurt Paulson. From the beginning, Ryan pursued this position with professional persistence that made it clear he wanted to be the coach of our Fighting Saints. On Friday, June 2nd, in the middle of the morning, we made an announcement that we were going to be looking for a new basketball coach. By 12:30 that morning, I had my first email. By 1:30, I had my first text from Ryan. Please know that when going through this process, it's common to be overwhelmed with touch points from people interested in the position. I found Ryan's outreach to be very appropriate and purposeful, sharing with me his vision of what Carroll basketball would look like. Through conversations with Ryan and with those who know Ryan, it became apparent that Ryan had the skill set to meet our needs. First and foremost, he personally values the pursuit of academic achievement, evidenced by the fact that he is just a dissertation away from earning his PhD in education. He also was personally very influential in helping to create a culture that produced a 3.7 team GPA this past spring by the College of Southern Idaho's men's basketball team. On the floor, being part of the undefeated 29-0 regular season this past year is not something many coaches get to experience. He has been associated with competitive success on the basketball floor, not only at CSI, but also during his tenure as the head coach of Valley View High School in the Boise area and during his time at Boise State. Everyone I touched base with about Ryan said he is highly connected and is a relationship builder. This may be the reason why we have over 125,000 views of the release of his hiring on Twitter in less than 24 hours since yesterday. He has proven to get results from those he coaches, but more importantly, the individuals he coaches value him equally for the relationships they have with him away from the game of basketball. He is known to be a tireless and effective recruiter. As Ryan and I talked several times over the weekend to try to finalize his acceptance of the position, there was always a whistle and a basketball in the background as he was at a very large event in Phoenix recruiting, working on the next Carroll recruiting class. He loves recruiting, and he has been effective at recruiting. A theme that was repeated over and over is that Ryan Lundgren will not only set the course for success in basketball, but he will also be a valued team member among the athletic staff and impact culture across the department. This is very important in a small athletic department where we all need to take ownership in each other's success. I hope you can see our basketball program is in good hands with Ryan's leadership. But I need to let you know the icing on the cake was one of the last reference calls I made when I talked to his boss at CSI. When after 20 minutes of praising Ryan and accolading his basketball talents, he said, "But you know what the greatest thing about Ryan is? You're getting his wife Lexi in London." And Lexi was the greatest ambassador to CSI basketball and the institution of the College of Southern Idaho. So with that, I welcome and introduce Ryan Lundgren as our men's basketball coach.
Okay, well, first off, I can't tell you guys how excited I am to be named the next head basketball coach here at Carroll College. It's every coach's dream to stand up here and give their first press conference as a head coach. But as great as that honor is, it's not why we get into coaching. As a coach, you have to love basketball, you have to love teaching, and I believe you have to love connecting with people. And those are the three biggest reasons why I chose to get into this profession, and why I think I stand here today as the next head coach at Carroll. Coaching at the Division I, junior college, high school, and AAU levels, it's been my lifelong goal to take over my own college program. I can't tell you how lucky I am to get this opportunity today. And this opportunity wouldn't be possible without the members I've worked with and learned under along the way. There's a saying one of my close coaching friends always says: when you're an assistant, you think you know everything. When you're a head coach, you don't think you know anything. And there's some truth to that. But with that said, I feel that I've learned under the right people and been mentored by the right people, that I can step into this position and be ready from day one. I've been at the College of Southern Idaho the past 4 years. If you don't know much about CSI, I can tell you it's one of the elite junior college basketball programs in the country. Charlie alluded to it. We had an unbelievable season, went 29-0 for the first time in 46 years. And to be honest with you, I haven't pursued many other opportunities in my time there. We've been very content and fulfilled in Twin Falls and working at CSI. But with that said, when Carroll opened, it just felt different to me. I'm very familiar with the NAIA level. I'm very familiar with this league. I have a lot of friends that coach in this league and nationwide at this level. And I know the tradition of excellence and the expectation at Carroll College. What I didn't know is how brutally cold the winters are, from what I've heard. But we are from Idaho, so I think we'll transition okay in that area. Another thing I found out in this interview process, whether it be talking to administration, conversations with players, people on campus, the athletic department that I met with, all the coaches, people are passionate about Carroll College. I was blown away at how many people have been here for long, significant periods of time. And to me, that speaks volumes about what this place is, what it's about, and how special it is. As your head basketball coach, I want you to know a little bit about what you can expect in our program. Schematically, we will be a defensive team. We'll be tough, we'll be disciplined, and we'll hold each other accountable in that area. We'll be a great rebounding team. Coach Reiner at CSI taught me a lot in that area, and I believe it's probably the number one indicator of success, and as they translate to wins and losses. If you can rebound and you hold each other accountable, you're going to be in every single game and have a chance to win. On the offensive end, we'll be a fast-paced, efficient team. We'll play with pace. We'll preach spacing. We'll talk about making the extra pass, passing up the good shot for the great shot. These are terms we'll talk about all the time. But most of all, we'll be an unselfish team, and it'll be an enjoyable brand of basketball to watch for our fans. Off the court, I can tell you this will be an easy team to root for because of who they are as people. I've gotten to know these guys just briefly over the last week through this process. I reached out to each of them when I accepted the job, and they're great young men. It's important to recruit talent, but it's equally important to recruit high-character individuals, and that's what we will do. A mentor of mine used to say, recruit the type of young man that you would want your daughter to marry. And now that I have a daughter, that I have a daughter of my own, I fully understand that. Our players will be active and visible in the Helena community. They'll give back in everything they do, and they'll conduct themselves in a way that will make us all proud. I want to give some thank yous. I tend to get emotional on these things a little bit, so I'll do my best. There's so many people I want to thank that have helped me in my journey. I won't get to everyone, I know that. This is a short press conference. I don't want to bore you with all that, but there's some that I need to thank. Starting with President Seck and our athletic director, Charlie Gross, I cannot thank you guys enough for selecting me to be the next basketball coach and seeing my vision as something that would fit in at Carroll College. The search committee, you were great from the beginning. All the people I met on campus, thank you so much for your support. Jeff Reiner, I wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be here without you. Your mentorship and guidance helped put me in a position to earn this opportunity. Your selfless belief in me helped me grow so much, and I'll forever cherish our time together at CSI. My former administration at CSI, President Fisher, Joel Bate, Daquan Montreal, all three of those individuals were completely understanding during this process. They supported me. I was able to be open and transparent with them about why I wanted this job, and they supported every step of the way, which was huge for me. Leon Rice, I'm forever indebted to you, taking a chance on me as a 22-year-old on your staff at Boise State, taking me under your wing and helping mentor me. I learned so much from you in my 4 years at Boise, and I continue to lean on you both in mentorship and in friendship. So many others that I've worked with and against that have helped shape me into the coach and man that I am today. This is a relationship business, and I can truly say I'm incredibly blessed to have the friendships and relationships that have helped guide me to this day today. Most importantly, my family, my wife Lexi, thank you so much for your love and support. She might have been more excited than I was for the opportunity to be a head coach and to move to Helena, Montana. And that means everything to me. My daughter London, sitting up here in the front row, she changed my life 3 years ago, and she continues to be the why in everything I do. My parents, Stuart and Diana, and my sister Jan, you guys have been with me from the start and have supported my crazy dream of being a college basketball coach, even when the hours were long and the money was zero. Literally zero. I wouldn't be standing up here today without your support. Okay, let me reiterate again just how excited I am for this opportunity to be here. The roster is young and talented. We still have a couple more spots to add, which we will over the coming weeks. We'll find the right level of talent, but also the right level of character that will make this community proud. I can tell these kids are eager to win, and we will win, and we'll do it the right way. Go Saints!
Stuart Davis with KCAP Sports. Congratulations. Welcome to Helena.
Thank you.
Could you just reiterate again what drew you to this position? You said you had some opportunities, but this one kind of stood out for you. You were in a good situation with happy in football.
Yeah.
But why make this move now here to the Saints?
Yeah. First and foremost, I knew I was ready to take the next step and be a head coach. But I was very selective in the position that I would pursue. I think when you take your first job as a head coach at this level, you have to make sure first and foremost you have support. And that support starts with your administration at the top and trickles all the way down to the members of the community. And I felt that this school has a tradition of that, and it's set up to have success. That was the number one reason. I alluded to it a little bit in my speech, but I'm very familiar with the NAIA level. I have a lot of friends that coach at this level. I'm familiar with this league, and I know what good basketball this league produces. And I know that in a small college, you can have the luxury of coaching a very high level of basketball, but also having a family life balance, and that's very important to me. And so I've experienced a lot of different levels of college basketball, and I feel this is a great level for me, and it's a great community to raise my family, and a great program that has everything you need to win.
And a quick follow-up. Getting in June, not most ideal in the season, this is a big recruiting time. Recruitment aside, trying to get that class, and even next year's 2024 class, what are some of the big challenges stepping in right now as the season's just a few months away?
Yeah, I think my experience as a junior college coach really helps that, because at CSI on any given year, school ends early May, mid-May, and we have 8 to 12 guys to sign to a roster. It's a little different at this level. You may have 2 or 3 to sign, and you have the whole year to do your recruiting. But I think that constant, fast-paced recruiting that I'm used to will really help us land 2 or 3 quality players, but quality young men here in the coming 5 or 6 weeks before school starts.
Ryan, Daniel Shepard, Independent Record. How do you kind of view, I know you made the jump from high school to junior college level. How do you view that jump from now to the junior college level to being a head coach in the NEI? And how do you maybe view recruiting being different from your two coach jobs now in the NEI?
Yeah. Well, the first part of your question, I think there's a lot of similarities at this level to coaching, at the high school level in terms of having players for 4 years. We want to get the best high school kids that we can in the country and have them at Carroll for 4 years, and that's our goal. Now, of course, there will be transfer students, far less than what I was accustomed to at CSI, but we will have a good blend. But first and foremost, we want to bring in the best high school players that we can in the country. So that will be an adjustment in levels. The second part of your question was, remind me again?
The jump, I guess.
Yeah.
One from being an assistant, and
Yeah.
go to head coach in NEI, and how do you view that jump?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference is obviously moving up 1 seat from assistant to a head coach. Everything now falls on you. I can't, something goes wrong, I can't turn to Coach Reiner and blame him anymore. But that'll be my assistant coach turning to me and blaming me. So that comes with it. I do know that, one similarity that I think will be a transition that I'm used to is what's expected at CSI in terms of success and what's expected at Carroll College in terms of success. We will graduate our kids, we'll compete for conference and national championships, and I know that's the expectation here, and I feel very comfortable leading the team with those expectations.
It's kind of a follow-up to that, being a collegiate head coach for the first time, what was kind of the nerves or emotions like just for you addressing the team for the first time?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just when you leave a good situation for another great situation, it makes that transition easier. It was very exciting to be able to get that call from Charlie, I believe it was on Friday night when I was out recruiting, and call each of the players, text each of the players, and reach out to them once I had formally accepted. And just to hear their enthusiasm, I think it was Saturday morning, I made a call on speaker and talked to all of them, and I could just tell how excited they were to know who their next coach was and to see what my vision for this program was. And so just to get that opportunity is a blessing, and I feel really fortunate to have it.
Ryan Berg, KTVH News. My first question for you is, I know you said that during this week you've been kind of reaching out to the team. How has that kind of transition been going on, and what are some ways that you've been, connecting with the team so far?
Yeah, I'll be honest, when I got the call, I was in Phoenix recruiting. I was in Arizona Cardinal Stadium. There's 22 courts in there. It's the biggest high school event in the country. And I got no phone service. So I'd walk out of the arena and I'd have calls and texts. And so it was a little bit of a whirlwind. But I made some calls to players. I texted every player individually. And I came up here right away yesterday when I got back from Phoenix to make sure that I have the opportunity to meet with each player and to meet as a team and to have those discussions that are very important as we transition into the start of school, which is a little over a month away.
Yeah, and a follow-up to that is I know that it was probably a lengthy process, going for this position, and it was a big deal for you. So how excited are you, and how are you kind of settling in so far? I know you only got here yesterday, but have you got a chance to go around Helena, around the campus so far?
Yeah, on my interview, I was able to look around briefly. My wife and daughter came up with me this time, so they're able to see it, and they loved it right away. We have a lot of exploring to do today and tomorrow before we head back, but we're going to look at different areas of town. The campus speaks for itself. It's beautiful, and we're just excited to be here. All of us are.
Jack Marshall, SWX Montana. Coach, obviously it's super early, but do you think you're going to put any sort of extra emphasis on recruiting kids from in or out of state here in Montana?
That'll be a huge emphasis. I talked about recruiting the best high school players in the country. It starts here in Montana. We want to get the best players in the state of Montana, and I do believe I have the network and connections to do that. I also think that the tradition of Carroll and the product that we'll put on the floor will make those Montana kids not have to think twice about coming to Carroll College to play basketball. But that'll be a huge emphasis.
What are maybe some of your connections in the Frontier? I think you had a player when you were a high school coach that went to Tech. I think one of the assistants at Southern Idaho is now at Western. Talk about those connections in the Frontier, maybe how you built those and who you kind of know already in the Frontier.
Yeah. I know a lot of the coaches in the Frontier. Adam Hyatt at Montana Tech, I've known him for years. He recruited our state player of the year, Nick Fitz, at Valley View High School. He's recruited our program at CSI. He's a heck of a coach, and he's got a great team, great program. Got a lot of respect for him and Coach Miller, his assistant. Coach Jensen, who just got named the head coach at Montana Western, coaches select basketball with myself and a lot of other coaches at this level. And as you alluded to, Dawson Henshaw, who's with us at CSI, took an assistant spot at Montana Western, so I know him well. I also know J.C. Isaacson at Providence, who coaches select with us as well. So the select family is strong, a lot of NAIA coaches, a lot of similar connections, and I know the level of coaching in this league is very good, and the level of talent is very good. And so I'm just excited to be able to compete against these guys, whether it be in recruiting or on the floor, and hit the ground running.
What are maybe priorities for you in your first maybe month or so out there?
Number one priority is get to know the current guys that are here, get to know them on a personal level, find out what their wants and needs are, get a feel for where they think the program is and what areas we need to emphasize, and then we need to sign 2 or 3 more players, which we're already in the process of evaluating several guys, but those would be the top 2 priorities right away.
What are going to be the things that you're kind of looking to maybe tweak, change a little bit, and what are some things that you're going to bring over from Idaho here at Carroll?
You know, this team was in the national championship game not very long ago. Kurt Paulson did an unbelievable job. Coach Cunningham before that did an unbelievable job. I know both of those guys personally, and I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I just need to be myself and come in here and relay my vision to this team and make sure the guys that we bring in here fit the Carroll way and fit who we are as a college and also as a basketball program. The second part of your question, the transition from CSI, Coach Reinhardt is as good of a guy as you could work for and learn under. He's a winner, and he always has been, and he taught me a lot about bringing in the right type of kid and bringing in a kid that's going to compete in the classroom and on the court and give back to his community. And that's what we're going to do, just like we did at CSI. We'll do that here at Carroll.
I guess, kind of an opening question here, but this team will be successful in your mind. This coming year and in the future, what will make this team successful?
The definition of success can be defined in a lot of different ways. I think first and foremost it starts with being proud of the people that are on the court and in the classroom and in the community. And again, we will have young men that you guys can be proud of. I promise you that. Obviously, I'm also hired to win basketball games. So a big part of success is going to look like winning conference championships, getting to national tournaments, and competing at the highest level. And we're going to do that as well. But again, it's very important to me that we bring in the right type of student athlete here. A very talented player who's going to represent the community well and help us win basketball games that the Carroll community can be proud of.
Lastly for me, expectations, goals year 1. I mean, I know you want to grow, you probably have a 5-year plan. I mean, you're very meticulous, detail-oriented. Year 1, what are you going to do to achieve?
Well, I want to compete for a Frontier Conference championship. Some people might look at it as a rebuild. I don't think it is at all. I think we have a lot of returning players that are hungry to compete. I think if you look at last year's team, and they lost some key pieces, there's no question. But if you look at the scores of last year's team, they were right there. And they were young. And so I think when you bring a majority of those kids back, and they've got experience in this league, and we make sure that we get 2 or 3 guys that can come in and have an immediate impact, we're going to be a very good basketball team this year. And it's just going to continue to grow from there. And that's my ultimate goal.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.